Welcome to Fright Fest, and tell us about Ruin Me.
Okay, so Ruin Me is about an extreme haunted house called Slasher Sleep Out. Okay, 6 people are taken out into the middle of the woods. Okay, and the goal is for them to live out a Friday the 13th movie over 36 hours. So these are extreme horror fans who are going out there to have this awesome event happen to them. But they're out there, they're cut off from technology, and something goes wrong. They start disappearing one by one.
And what was it about this story that you particularly wanted to tell?
Well, I've got to say I have been a fan of extreme haunts, like the Blackout event that's in New York and Los Angeles, the Great Horror Camp Out that happened in Los Angeles. So I went to these events, but I was like, you know what? I'm not actually scared. I loved the experience. It was a good time, but I never actually felt afraid. So my writing partner Trista and I said, what would it take to actually make us afraid? And we started saying, well, we would have to be isolated, like in the middle of the woods. There would have to be way fewer than us, like maybe only 6 of us. And then we realized there was a movie here to tell.
And I imagine as well that there's nothing more scary than the imagination, actually. So is there a film that allows your audience to think and be in suspense with what's happening through the power of the mind without revealing too much?
Yes. Our main character of Alexandra, she, unlike everyone else on this event, she has never seen a horror film before. So she's been dragged along by her boyfriend to go to this event. And as we get deeper and deeper into the woods and into the story, we start to realize that maybe there's much more going on with Alex and this event than we ever would have imagined possible when the story started.
And I imagine as well, when you're talking about going deeper and deeper, you've also got a character that we can go deeper and deeper and go on a journey on and invest in, and that gives the kind of grounding for the audience as well, doesn't it?
Absolutely. So when we came up with the idea for Ruin Me and setting it this extreme event, we were like, yes, this is very cool. This is a cool environment. But what made us say in our hearts that we had to make this movie was when we created the character of Alex. She is a very three-dimensional, very a person with a lot of challenges from her past. And all of those challenges start to come home to roost on this weekend. And without spoiling anything, I wish I could tell you more, but I can't. You're going to have to watch it. Without spoiling anything, she gets put to the ultimate test.
And we love our horror films from the 80s and onwards. Has horror become more sophisticated in the last sort of, well, dare I say, 40 years or so, if I think about it?
I think horror has always been sophisticated. I think it is continuing to grow in its sophistication. I think of 1968, Night of the Living Dead, is incredibly sophisticated cinema. But I think that today, because of events like Fright Fest, where the viewers and the audiences are so intelligent and so open-minded, that the definition of horror has continued to grow. And it's my hope that at some time in my lifetime that mainstream audiences and critics will start to recognize horror as sophisticated as we know it to be. I want to see horror movies nominated for Academy Awards, because they deserve it.
This script seems like a real page turner. How was it for you when you were first reading it?
I was like, what is going to happen? When they actually sent me the script, I had asked for it before I had auditioned, and they wanted to keep some of it a little bit hush-hush, so they only sent me 3/4, and I was like, what happens? It was so, yeah.
And when you read the part that you're playing, what was it about her that kind of resonated with you?
I feel drawn to every character that I play, yeah. And I think sometimes, Alexandra doesn't really trust her instincts all the time. And I think there's times where we all don't do that. And I have certainly been in that situation where I haven't. So, yeah, I think that's something that...
So what's interesting as well is that Alexandra's relatable to the audience, really.
I hope so. I really hope so.
Preston was saying that there's a real kind of sort of psychological journey that she goes on. Was that something as well that really attracted you and probably risky for you to do?
Yeah, it was an intense shoot, but it was really, really great. I mean, this character, because they do through the lens of her perspective, I was pretty much I think I was in absolutely every scene. So that mixed with the psychological, it was intense, but it was amazing.
I imagine that all adds to the kind of the atmosphere of the film and what gets presented on screen.
Yeah, I hope so. I really hope so.
And what have you taken away with you from being a part of the film?
Trust your instincts.